So today I'm giving my not quite review / general first impressions of the first 3 episodes of the new show, Cute High Earth Defense Club Love. Now, I was really excited for this when I first heard it was coming out. I mean, a magical boy anime. That's brilliant, and it's also a hilarious idea for a show. But does the show measure up so far? Well, okay, so we're starting off talking about Chikawabu? Well, that's one way to get things started off, I guess. Why exactly are the main characters being introduced at a bathhouse? It's a little nitpicky, but it's not meant to be fan service, nor is it meant to be comedic. This scene could probably take place anywhere. So why are they having a lengthy conversation about food? Maybe this scene would be funnier if I were Japanese and I actually knew what Chikawabu was. Also, anyone else getting Lucky Star flashbacks? Incoming plot device! Literally, that came out of nowhere. No, you just met a talking wombat. Why are you changing the subject? Well, I'm sure this doesn't mean anything at all. This whole intro kind of made no sense to me now that I think about it. We haven't even met all the main characters yet, and yet we're treated to this random kid. Possessed teacher? Imoto's obsession with the wombat isn't funny or interesting. It needs to either be funny, serve a purpose, or both. The personalities of our main characters completely baffles me. Okay, let's see. We have a cute character, a ladies' man character, a guy obsessed with money, and then the 2 characters we met at the beginning who don't seem to have any sort of personality yet. These title cards are actually pretty cute. This show is starting to feel like Shugo-chara if done wrong. Heck, Shugo-chara was an actual magical girl show, and it was funnier than this. Why does the wombat creature force these guys to become battle lovers? You have less than no reason to do so, plus these guys kinda suck. I really don't get the green-haired character at all. Greed doesn't really look good on anybody. This monster... what? Why? You guys are way too casual about all this. I actually really love the transformation scenes. This is also kinda nitpicky, but it's funny the characters don't have names for their attack, but how is that possible when a minute ago they had entire speeches basically programmed into them? Why do they have different pantlet sizes? This kid's face. Having their faces and voices blurred out is actually pretty funny. This evil hedgehog is actually pretty adorable. Why exactly are the bad guys doing all this? I mean, besides being evil for the sake of it. Okay, we know next to nothing about these characters aside from their base personality traits. Worse, we don't understand the dynamics of the people in the club. We don't get a sense of them as individuals or as a team. Another long, boring, oddly food-related conversation. It's more relatable than the first conversation about Chikawabu, but still mostly a uniquely Japanese thing. This scene is not funny. Running cuddle gag is also unfunny. I'm not sure if I should be laughing or horrified that this wombat just effectively killed a man. And if he ever leaves his side, he will rot. Oh my god. If you were hoping for this, you will be severely disappointed. Why does it have to be them? I mean, is there some reason it couldn't be, you know, literally anyone else? You know, it occurs to me they're being way too casual about this whole murder thing. Why do the villains need or have a transformation sequence? Doesn't really seem necessary. Actually, the whole needle turns you evil thing would actually be really cool if the result wasn't so stupid. If he wants to set out one mission, let him. Wait, that's it? He's coming now? Well, that was pointless then. Was this meant to be a fan service episode? This would have actually been a lot funnier if they didn't talk about it for so long. You know, for 2 people who claim to hate seeing this guy naked, they sure do hang out a lot with each other. Naked. This show has a lot of scenes that involve sitting around doing nothing, even remotely interesting. Okay, why on earth do they have pretty boy contests in an all-boys school? And why are they every month? It also occurs to me there's no point in having a ladies' man character in a show that not only takes place in an all-boys school, but also appears to have no female characters whatsoever. Yeah, even with that explanation, this still makes no sense. This is hilarious. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. This is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Aw, that was pretty cute, actually. Oh, hey, look, the episode's over. Man, talk about wasted potential. The idea of creating a magical boy anime is so inherently hilarious that it's hard to see how someone could possibly screw it up. And yet, they managed. It's not terrible. The show does manage to get some decent chuckles every now and then, but on the whole, they come few and far between. Aside from the transformation scenes, the animation is pretty static with not a lot of actual movement or much detail, and it lacks in fluidity. Also, I can't really figure out why, but the colors kind of seem washed out and plain to me. The environment and characters come off as feeling flat, and while I like the look of some characters, there's very little aside from the initial premise that stands out about it. If this show were about anything else, it would probably suffer even more. While humor is subjective, I also didn't find the show very amusing. The humor was supposed to derive from the characters' lack of any genuine reactions and playing everything straight. Unfortunately, to me at least, this didn't really work because the funniest thing about a premise like this would be seeing how the characters react to being forced in a situation like this. While having an unreaction to everything that goes on has the potential to be funny, having all the characters be the straight man isn't quite as funny. Aside from my personal taste in comedy, there isn't much to the characters either. After 3 episodes, all I've learned about them are their base personality traits, and even those aren't incredibly interesting. Not only do we not know as much about them as individual characters, but they don't have much of a team dynamic at all so far. There isn't even a story at this point to get invested in. Aside from the student council stirring up some trouble, this show may as well just be a slice of life show without any of the elements that would make that kind of show work. I've only seen the first 3 episodes so far, so maybe it's possible I just haven't gotten to that episode yet. Aside from that, if the show doesn't want to focus on an overarching plot, it's gotta give me something else to enjoy. And so far without a plot, interesting characters, or personally finding the show very funny, I'm struggling to find a reason to continue watching it. I fear this show has relied too much on the premise of being a magical boy show alone to be considered worth watching, while ignoring most of the reasons why people love magical girls so much. It's actually pretty weird because all they really had to do was write an interesting magical girl show first, change the character genders, and then not only would the comedy write itself, but it would be more interesting to boot. It also doesn't help that, so far anyway, the show seems to be getting Monster of the Week-ish. And while I know this trope is also present in actual magical girl shows, it's not interesting done there either. Here's an interesting idea. This show could have been a lot better if it did what Free did and capitalized on the fangirl market. If Free proved nothing else, it showed that making a show geared toward the lady otaku has the ability to succeed if you do it right. What I'm trying to say is this show could have benefited immensely simply by being a lot more, well, man-servicey. As it stands, I'm not quite sure what this show was going for. As far as I know, this is the very first magical boy anime, or failing that, at least the first that I've seen, and it was bursting with potential. Do I hate it? No, it's harmless, and all my ragging about it aside, it actually does have a few very funny ideas. I'm mostly just harping on the show so much because I saw so much potential in it. On the whole, though, it fails to truly take advantage of its opportunities. I mean, imagine if someone created an anime full of promise, then, as it went on, you begin to realize, well, not entirely bad, was in no way going to live up to what you hoped it'd be. Like I said, I don't think this show is bad. There were a few scenes that made me laugh, and I genuinely liked the transformation scenes. I don't know if I could bring myself to watch any more of this, but I will give it 1 or 2 more episodes to convince me to keep watching. But unless the show pulls a Madoka Magica, I'm probably going to wind up dropping it after a few more episodes. So, what did you think of Cute High Earth Defense Club Love? Comment below and let me know your thoughts, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time!